I find the easiest way to adjust the velocity curve is to play a groove and to adjust the curves as I'm playing on, say, the snare drum, and see what the relationship is between the ghost notes, the very quiet notes, and your backbeats, the loud notes. As you're doing that and you're playing in between loud and quiet, you can see and you can get a feel for the correct curve for your playing. Now, like I said, this could be different for every single pad, but if you understand what you're doing, it makes it much easier to do. Just to finish with, let's have a close look at the more common velocity curves and see how they can help your playing. The linear curve. Smooth, simple, what you put in is what you get out. As you increase how hard you play, the module's volume also rises too. But it's a tad boring and lacks the excitement of some of the other curves. But it's good for everybody. Loud or logarithmic curve. Proportionally, smaller increases when you are playing quietly are increased, so there is more variation in ghost note volume compared to what you are actually playing. This suits quieter players as it works like an audio expander, increasing the difference or contrast between the quiet and the loud playing. This curve enhances ghost notes. They are louder than they would be with a linear curve. However, with less experienced players, this can make ghost notes sound erratic. Backbeats always sound consistent. Good for quieter players. Try this on a bass drum to even out your dynamics. Hard or exponential curve. This has lower volume increases with ghost notes, then a bigger volume boost at the end. This actually suits louder players as the volume in the middle is suppressed and it takes more effort to get the louder notes. But when it's set correctly, there is always a little bit more to give just by hitting it a little bit harder. This curve smooths out ghost notes, but they are quieter than they would be with a linear curve. Good for louder players. Spline Type 1. This is almost a hybrid curve. At the bottom, it behaves like a hard or exponential curve, but at the top, it behaves like a loud or logarithmic curve. This makes ghost notes nice and quiet, but there is a massive volume boost in the middle range, and the loudest notes are very consistent. This is good for players who have a good mid-range control, or for players who are more ghost notes and backbeats all the time. Good for more experienced players. Try this on your snare to add more life to the dynamics. Spline Type 2. This is another hybrid curve. At the bottom, it behaves like a loud or logarithmic curve, but at the top, it behaves like a hard or exponential curve. This has a big dynamic boost in the ghost notes and the backbeats, but almost no dynamic range in the middle. This can make the playing sound very even. Good for limiting the volume of the backbeats and making ghost notes sound more dynamic.